The enemy fleet numbered in the thousands. Plasma rained from orbit. Shields failed. Cities fell. And then, the sky cracked open and Earth came back. General Kale pressed his back against the bunker wall as another explosion shook Valaris, 7 to its core. Outside, the Karn Dominion's mechanical armada blotted out the stars, 3,000 ships strong. Each one a testament to cold, calculated destruction. The Allied planets had fought for 7 years. 7 years of retreat, loss, and watching worlds burn under Karn plasma fire. Now it was ending here. Sir, Lieutenant Torres whispered, her voice barely audible over the bombardment. The planet killer is charging. Estimated time to firing, 12 minutes. Kale closed his eyes. 12 minutes until Valaris 7 joined the graveyard of worlds. Their fleet was gone. Their allies had abandoned them. The universal distress call they'd sent was less a plea for help and more a final scream into the void, letting the galaxy know they'd existed. Energy spike. A technician's voice cracked with disbelief. Multiple FDL signatures inbound, massive scale, unidentified, wait, there. The man's face went pale. They're human. The bunker fell silent except for the distant thunder of orbital bombardment. That's impossible, Torres breathed. Humans haven't been seen in over a century. There. Space tore open. Not in one place, but hundreds. Black ships emerged from hyperspace like knives cutting through fabric. Angular. Silent. Their hulls absorbed light rather than reflecting it, making them look like holes punched in reality. No running lights. No visible weapons. Just presence. The lead ship was massive, easily dwarfing the Karn dreadnoughts. Along its hull, barely visible letters spelled out, Ysess Wrath of Terra. Every communication channel, Allied, Karn, civilian, suddenly carried the same message in a voice that was calm, almost bored. This is Earthfleet Command. Stand back. The Karn reacted instantly. Thousands of weapons swiveled toward the new arrivals. Admiral Zektor of the Dominion opened a channel, his synthetic voice carrying mechanical arrogance. Unknown vessels, you enter Karn space. Identify yourselves or be destroyed. Silence. I said identify. We heard you. The human voice cut through like a blade. We just don't care. In the bunker, Kale watched his tactical display in confusion. The human ships weren't moving into attack formation. They weren't raising shields. They just existed. Waiting. A shimmer in the bunker's air resolved into a figure, a human woman in matte black armor that seemed to bend light around it. She stood at their holodable as if she'd always been there. General Kale, she said, not a question. Who are you? How did you? Captain Chin, Earthfleet Intelligence. She studied the tactical display with the detached interest of someone examining an ant farm. You called. We answered. The Karn fleet won't be a problem much longer. Kale gestured desperately at the display. There are 3,000 ships out there. Your fleet is outnumbered 10 to 1. Chin almost smiled. You're right. It's hardly fair. She tapped her wrist device. Wrath Actual, this is Chin. You are cleared to engage. Keep it clean. Acknowledged. Initiating pest control. Pest control. They called a fleet that had conquered 17 systems pest control. Outside, the human ships finally moved. But it wasn't the charge Kale expected. They dispersed like a perfectly choreographed dance, each ship sliding into positions that made no tactical sense until they activated. Blue light erupted from the human vessels. Not weapons fire, something else. The space around Karn ships began to warp, gravity itself bending to human will. Engine cores imploded. Shields inverted, crushing the ships they were meant to protect. Navigation systems turned traitor, ramming Karn vessels into each other with mechanical precision. They're not fighting, Kale whispered, watching the tactical display in growing horror. They're surgically removing a threat. It was destruction as art form. Every move calculated. Every loss deliberate. The Karn tried to adapt, but how do you fight an enemy that turns physics into a weapon? Their plasma batteries fired wildly, beams bending away from human ships as if space itself protected them. A Karn dreadnought, pride of their fleet, attempted to bring its planet killer to bear on the Wrath of Terra. The human ship didn't evade. Instead, space around the dreadnought's weapon folded. The planet killer fired, directly back into its own hull. The dreadnought vaporized itself. Time, Chin said quietly. Ma'am? How long since we started? Torres checked her chronometer with shaking hands. 37 seconds. 3,000 ships. The most feared armada in the galaxy. 37 seconds. The surviving Karn vessels, perhaps 24, attempted to flee. A single human destroyer, smaller than the rest, pursued them into hyperspace. Moments later, it returned alone. Pursuit logged. Termination confirmed, a voice reported over comms. 47 seconds total. The Triad War was over. The blue light faded. Human ships hung motionless among the debris field that had been the Karn Dominion's greatest fleet. Not a single human vessel showed damage. Not one. How? Kale's voice was barely a whisper. Chin turned from the holodable. General, what's the difference between a warrior and a survivor? What? A warrior fights with honor. A survivor fights to win. Earth spent the last century deciding which one we wanted to be. She gestured at the debris field. We chose. Where have you been? Why did you leave? We never left. We just stopped playing by everyone else's rules. Started writing our own. Chen's expression hardened. The galaxy wanted to forget what humans were capable of. So we reminded ourselves. Every day. Every year. Until we didn't need weapons anymore. We became them. The human ships were already forming up, preparing to leave. No demands for territory. No claims of conquest. They'd appeared, erased a threat, and now they were going. Wait, Kale called out. The allied planets owe you a... You owe us nothing, Chin interrupted. But others out there, the ones who prey on the weak, they owe us everything. And we're very good at collecting. She flickered and vanished, hologram or teleportation, Kale couldn't tell. On every frequency, the human fleet broadcast one final message to the galaxy. To all aggressors, Earth remembers everything. Every colony burned. Every ship destroyed. Every life taken. We've been keeping score. And now you remember us. The black ships turned as one and tore holes in space, vanishing as suddenly as they'd appeared. They left behind a debris field that stretched for thousands of kilometers, the remains of what had been the galaxy's most feared fleet. In the silence that followed, Torres spoke first. Sir, what do we tell High Command? Kale stared at the tactical display, at the impossible math of what he'd witnessed. Tell them the humans are back. Tell them they don't wage war anymore, they delete problems. And tell them. He paused, remembering Chen's cold efficiency. Tell them to pray Earth doesn't keep score of their sins. The official after-action report would list the engagement time as 47 seconds. Military academies would study it for generations, trying to understand how a smaller force had achieved perfect victory without taking a single loss. But in the bars and barracks where soldiers gathered, the story was simpler. The Karn thought they were predators. Thought the galaxy was their hunting ground. Then the humans showed up and reminded everyone that Earth doesn't raise predators. It raises apex survivors. And when apex survivors decide you're a threat, a veteran would pause, take a drink, and deliver the line that became legend. You don't get a fight. You get an extinction event. And it takes less than a minute. The galaxy had forgotten why humans were feared. The debris field above Valaris 7 would ensure they never forgot again. Years later, when asked about humanity's return, Chin would give only one statement. We didn't come back to be heroes. We came back to balance the books. Some species build empires. Some build armies. Humans? We build solutions. Permanent ones. But perhaps the most chilling epilogue came from a Karn survivor found drifting in an escape pod, driven mad by what he'd seen. They didn't attack us. Attack implies we could defend. They just decided we shouldn't exist anymore. And reality agreed with them. The pod's recorder captured his final words before the madness took him completely. Pray to whatever you believe in that Earth never decides you're a problem. Because their solutions don't leave survivors, just examples.